Hello and welcome. Today's training is designed for individuals who applied for and received a Shuttered Venue Operators Grant from the U.S. Small Business Administration. This brief training will help you review your grant paperwork and prepare to submit your final budget. If you were awarded a grant in the amount that matches what you originally requested, this will be easy. However, for most people, the amount you received is more than the amount you requested, especially if you received a supplemental award or an increase through the reconsideration process. So this step is required to reconcile your original budget with the amount of funding you now have to work with. So let's get started. In today's training, we are going to provide you with an overview of the grantee timeline and closeout process. Then, we'll review the step in our portal called Finalize Budget Action Item. This is the step that initiates the closeout process for your grant and is very important because you'll be asked to account for the funding you received at the end of the closeout process. So, you'll need to finalize your budget now to ensure a smooth closeout. There are a lot of rules and regulations for federal grants, and the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant is no exception. Most SVOG grantees are new to the federal government's compliance requirements, which can sometimes be overwhelming. So, one of the ways that SBA has tried to help grantees during this process is by creating smaller tasks called action items in the portal that we can issue gradually. One of these action items is the Finalized Budget Action Item, and the grantee needs to complete that action item after SBA has determined that the grantee has received all possible funds. That is, when SBA considers an award to be final and contacts that award recipient to request an up-to-date budget. This is called the final or finalized budget. Completing the final budget action item is how grantees let SBA know what to expect from the grantee's spending records at closeout. It is an opportunity to revise your budget if you've received a different amount than you originally requested. It's also an opportunity to give SBA the heads up if you won't be able to spend your entire award, as unspent award money will need to be returned during the closeout action item, which is the fourth box in this slide. This chart provides a brief overview of the steps SBA and SVOG grantees each take to complete the Finalized Budget Action Item process. Once you have received the Finalized Budget Action Item from SBA, you have 14 days to complete and submit it. Once submitted, SBA will review your file for completeness. If documents listed as special conditions on your Notice of Award have not been submitted, SBA may request more information via the portal. SBA will move grantees into the closeout phase on a rolling basis, and additional information on how to complete these action items will be posted on sba.gov/SVOG. Next, we'll review the steps to prepare you for completing the Finalized Budget Action Item to help you complete it correctly. Preparing for your Finalized Budget Action Item will make the process significantly easier. There are 3 things you can do which will be a big help. All involve reviewing your Notice of Award, or Form 1222. First, confirm the time period you will be looking at when you apply the SVOG funds for reimbursement and budgeting. This is the window you have to spend your grant funding. It's also called the eligible period to incur cost. All SVOG recipients can apply their funds to expenses dating as far back as, but not earlier than, March 1st, 2020. Box 4 of your Form 1222 lists the last day on which SVOG funding may be used to pay for expenses or incur costs. Second, be sure to confirm your final award total in Box 20C of the Notice of Award. This is the total you have received from your initial grant, as well as any supplemental or reconsideration amounts, and it is the amount that you must use when submitting your Finalized Budget Action Item. Third, look at the other terms and conditions on the Form 1222 addendum. If you have received more than one Form 1222 addendum, be sure to look over all of them. You would receive more than one, for example, if you received supplemental or reconsideration funds. Double-check that you have provided any forms or certifications listed as missing on any of your addendums. If you have not provided a copy recently, make sure you have one ready. SBA will contact you if it finds any required documents are unacceptable. The next thing you want to have ready as you prepare to submit your finalized budget action item is a list of the items you have already spent SVOG funds on, as well as estimates for future spending. Remember that you are required to keep receipts and records of all the expenses you are using SVOG funds to reimburse or pay for. Knowing this in advance will help to keep you organized. Finally, look over your business's finances to decide how you plan to demonstrate to SVOG that you spent grant funds properly. Federal law requires that you have eligible and allowable expenses during your eligible period to incur costs that are the same amount as your award budget. Remember, the final budget is an updated point-in-time projection of how funds will be used by allowable cost category. Later, the expense report action item provided at closeout will document the actual use of funds by allowable cost category. Neither your budget nor expense report will require you to directly trace the specific dollars you received from SVOG. Rather, your budget and expense report will just need to demonstrate your business had eligible and allowable costs of the same dollar value you budgeted for. If you do not believe you will have enough allowable costs, the finalized budget action item allows you to tell SBA in advance. SBA will contact you at a later date to set up a fair repayment, as federal law will require you to return the excess funds. SBA also has tools and resources available to help you. For more information, please visit the sba.gov/SVOG website, the SVOG portal, or contact SBA's Office of Disaster Assistance Customer Service Center via phone or email. SBA Customer Service can provide assistance with technology as well as general guidance on status. SBA's resource partners can provide you with the direct assistance, and SBA's district offices can guide you to resources in your local community. If you have specific questions regarding your application, contact us at svogrant@sba.gov, and remember to include your SVOG application number, entity name now, that can either be a person or a business, depending on who the original application was for, and contact email. If you would like more information on what to expect after you submit your final budget action item, please check out the post-application guidance document on the SVOG website. For information specific to the active grantee phase, what certain budget categories mean, and in-depth examples, please watch the active grantee and closeout information session on YouTube. Thank you for attending this session. Have a great day.